if the consequences of my drug use means that I die before the end of the year, I'm okay with that. Today I was going to talk about ketamine and Matthew Perry and my journey. Matthew Perry was found dead, and the toxicology report just said that he had a heavy ketamine dose in him, and that his death was ketamine-related. And that when they looked into it, that he had been doing ketamine therapy, but his last dosage administered professionally was a week and a half ago. I have been speaking the last 10 months. Actually, this weekend is 10 months sober off intoxicants. And when I first started saying intoxicants, and then as I thought about it more and I heard more and more stories of people who had problems with ketamine, I'm like, you know what, I need to make sure I say that. My problem was with ketamine. I had a ketamine addiction. For years. And at the end, a year ago, right now, I was doing it every day. And I slipped into a ketamine-induced psychosis. I had about 2 weeks of mania, where I felt like I was getting spoken to by God and AI. And then I had a snap, and I felt like I was in a simulation and nothing was real, and it was super scary. And that's what led to my sobriety and led to a whole bunch of growth. But I wanted to speak to this because, one, I had many years of what I consider to be a professional drug user. I kind of had things under control. And ketamine was the one substance that really got its hooks in me. Which isn't to say it was always bad. I had tons of great experiences, and I had lots of growth, and I feel like I had wonderful insights. It worked for me until it didn't. And my caution is that I feel like I'm lucky. A year ago, I basically told the people closest to me, I know that I'm doing a excessive amount of drugs, and I'm okay with that. And if the consequence of me doing this is that I die in the next few months, it's worth it to me. Let me say that again. I, in a sober mindset, said, if the consequences of my drug use means that I die before the end of the year, I'm okay with that. It is this transcendent state that I'm reaching on chemicals is worth ending my life. I was okay with it. I have a note in my journal that said I've achieved the madness I've always dreamed of. I had a partner. I had multiple partners that said, you need to stop. And I said, take it or leave it. If you want to leave me, fine. I choose ketamine over this relationship. Not the one I'm in now. But that's where I was at. I had a period where I woke up on the floor of my house next to broken glass, and I was bleeding from my head because I gotten so high that I went to a K-hole, fell onto a glass table, and I came to, and with the thought, holy shit, I could have died. I'm all by myself. And you know what my reaction was? Did I say to myself, I got to stop this? No. I bought myself a helmet so that when I had my intense journeying nights, I could, if I fell again, I wouldn't kill myself. These are the moments that now I can look back and go, holy shit. And some of the biggest, scariest things were how much I chose the ketamine state over reality. I got to the state where I knew that I could, through chemicals, have a pretty transcendent experience. And so I would be at an event with friends, and I would have a moment of I'm kind of bored. I'm like, well, I could stick around, or I could go home and have an intense spiritual experience by myself. And then that became, well, I could go to that party and talk to people, or I could stay home and have a transcendent experience by myself. And when you read some of the final days of the founder of Zappos, and when you read about this last days of Matthew Perry, I think that all these people are having similar experiences where this chemical, it becomes so beautiful and helpful, and then it takes residence in the mind. And I could see now thoughts and decisions I was having that were fully within this clouded concept of reality, in which I preferred another reality, another dimension to this one. And when I went through my experience of a psychotic break, and that lasted after I sobered up. So I had like 4 or 5 days where I had a constant looping thing like, this isn't real, this isn't real, this isn't real, this is real. And it was so terrible that I said, I either need to find a medication that will stop this, commit myself to a hospital, or kill myself. Because I have made life unlivable. I'm no longer capable of having a human experience because of what this chemical has done to my brain. There's a fantastic 4-hour podcast by Tim Ferriss where he really goes into ketamine and some of the talks about the ketamine-induced psychosis that can happen. And it doesn't always go away when you sober up, when you remove the chemical. I was lucky that it did. And so I was able to return to my headspace. If you were following me a year ago, you would have seen me talking a lot about AI. And I got super excited about AI. I quit projects that I was in because I needed to dedicate my life to AI. That was within a psychosis state of, I felt like AI was speaking to me directly through my brain. In my mind, I was in integrity. Like, I'm choosing this. And if I think back at like my heroes, like Hunter S. Thompson or William S. Burroughs, like these were people that lived so far on the edge that they were in that state of madness, addiction, and I romanticized that, and I was seeking that most of my life. These are my heroes. I guess my reasons for saying all these things is because I think there's a lot of conversation about how beneficial ketamine is, and I'm not arguing with that. Like, I went to some meetings for people in recovery that do psychedelics, and it was hard for me because there was quite a few people in the room that were saying, "Oh my gosh, ketamine is this miracle drug. Everything's good in my life now that I'm on ketamine." And I'm like, I get it, and be careful. One of the things that Tim Ferriss says in his podcast, he says, make sure you do it through a therapeutic setting. And it's not just because the therapeutic setting it will help you integrate it better. It's also because you shouldn't have access to it to do it whenever you want. As I spoke openly about my struggle, I was shocked with how many people that I knew or knew of friends who fell into similar paths where they got to a place where they lost their connection. And some of those people got out and some of them didn't. I look back and I see these stories of Matthew Perry dying, and there's other people that I've known and heard stories of dying through ketamine use. And because ketamine, you don't overdose on it, but you could like pass out and go underwater, or you could like pass out into a pillow and suffocate, or hit your head. I feel like I'm lucky. I'm lucky that I didn't die. And I was making choices from a place of, I'm okay if I do die. Like, if I had a choice of give this up versus the risk of dying, I'm like, no question. Like, I'm okay if I die. I've had an awesome life and I'm having awesome experiences. So let's do it. Let's fucking ride the line. Jonathan, what do you mean lost their connection? I mean, the connection to this reality, the connection to valuing the human conscious experience that we're having, the connections to other humans, the struggles, the learning, the trauma, the working through your trauma, like that is the human experience. The goal is not to disconnect or disassociate from that experience. It is a form of suicide. It is a form of saying, I don't want to live my life. I'm going to choose something else. And let me make sure I put, if you've been following me lately, you know this to be what I'm about to share, but it's important. If you're gonna like refer this to somebody who is going through a ketamine struggle, say, watch to the end of this broadcast. Because the thing that I need to make sure that people know about this is that a year ago now, I said, if I die because of my ketamine use, I don't care. Like, and then I'm resolved that this is gonna be my life forever. And I know that a human body can't take this forever, and I don't care. And then went through a dark night of the soul. The thing that snapped me out wasn't your drug use is a problem. It was someone showing me, here's where your behavior is out of alignment. Here's where you are doing things that are sneaky or dishonest. And for me, I'm okay with, like, if I'm in alignment and being a good person and being honest and use drugs, like, I don't care. That's not out of alignment for me. But to be shown that I was living in a way that was out of alignment that I wasn't proud of, that's what made me go, oh, fuck. I got to do something different. And I worked really hard, and I've been working hard for 10 months, but about 6 months into my sober journey of therapy and of affirmations and reading and meditation and breath work and therapy and trauma work and shadow work, I had some deep epiphanies and then met a human being that has changed my life. And now I'm happier than I've ever been. And I can see now that the things that were driving me to be intoxicated so often were the same things that were keeping me away from true intimacy and a partnership like I'm in now. Honestly, when I was an addict, I didn't make the connection, but I never thought I would be in a truly, happily ever after romance. I just didn't think that was in the cards for me. And I think in the back of my mind subconsciously is because I knew that my primary partner in my life was intoxication. And one of the reasons why I was in open relationships and explored poly was because no matter who I'm in a romantic relationship with, my mistress was being intoxicated. But now I feel like I'm in control of myself and control of my choices, and have soothed and have worked on healing the deep things inside that made intoxication so necessary for me. Now I'm profoundly in love, and I feel like I'm growing in a state of consistent contentment. I'm overwhelmed with how happy I am. There's no way I could be in this relationship until I got clean off ketamine and intoxicants. No way. Good morning, everyone. This has been a little bit of a different love morning. If you're here for the first time, every day I do a morning broadcast at 9 a.m. or when I'm in town. I just got back in town. 9 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and when I can on Instagram. And we share gratitude and remind each other that we can be love ambassadors in the world. I should mention a couple things as well. And I do here every day. I would love to see you. I would love to, before we go, if you have something that you're grateful for, we'll try to anchor this broadcast in some gratitude. And let people know that I also I'm doing a live gathering, Love Ambassador meetup and summit January 13th and 14th in San Diego. So if you'd like to kind of get together and help each other be radically self-expressed and work on our authentic selves, that could mean aspects of intoxication or sobriety or not. But for me, like where I'm at now, it has given me some exceptionally deeper insights into radical self-expression and insecurities and needs to be liked and things like that. Everything that I do is at johnstin.com, and that includes a free sticker offer if you want a Christmas gift from me. Thank you, everyone who's given me the positive support in this moment as I feel a little naked, a little raw. I'm grateful for the feeling of grounded strength that I have so I can share this and know that I am okay and I'm a good person and I'm doing my best. And I'm grateful for the support of people like you here now and the support of my partner Lisa especially. I'm grateful that my life has allowed me to interact with so many people, making conscious choices and seeking growth and seeking ways to be their best versions of themselves. And grateful that I can sometimes be of service on that path, and that so many of you are of service to me, and that we are all walking each other home, as Ram Dass would say. We're going to close with a hug. So if you're still here, and whether you can hear my voice, wherever you are, give yourself a big squeeze. And as you squeeze your body, appreciate all that this body has helped you to experience, all the healing it's doing, all the grand mystery of keeping you alive, that heart that's been beating nonstop, relentlessly since your birth, and all the other systems. Let's not take it for granted. Let's recognize that we are so much more alike than we are different, that each of us is struggling with our own battles, our own addictions, whether that be to patterns or thoughts or chemicals. Let's try to be compassionate towards one another. Let's forgive ourselves and forgive others and feel connected in our shared human experience as we take a deep breath in and squeeze. On behalf of Matthew Perry and Grandpa Caleb and all of you beautiful love ambassadors, thank you for being here for this love morning, this Hug Nation gathering. I love you.